Ben Kennedy better not ruin Bowman Gray. He better not ruin my racetrack. So that was my character, because that's what they say. Yes. NASCAR, it was your decision. I guess you're going to run Bowman Gray. Little Birdie says that the city has been saying, somebody take this over. I don't know if I'm right or wrong. Comment on Bowman Gray.
Yeah, so, we announced Thursday last week that we're going to take over the entity that will have the lease of Bowman Gray and, be operating it. So our first race is April 20th. It is less than a month away, so we have a lot of work to do. We brought on Austin Shuford, a great person. He's helped promote a number of races at Nashville Fairgrounds. He's been involved with Milwaukee and Knoxville truck races through Track Enterprises. He's going to be a great leader for that track. And if you spend some time with him, he is a true short track person. He loves short track, and it's in his blood and his DNA for sure. So excited about that. But, as we started having these conversations and getting back to who is the boss, to the boss, one of the first things that Jim asked us to do and told us to do was make sure that you keep what makes Bowman Gray Stadium. And, a big part of that, it's a racing product. It's the entertainment that's on the track. It's frankly a little bit of entertainment and what happens off the track. And it's a way that Greg Garrison and his family have operated that track for decades, and his family has. And, this is a partnership that goes back to, we talked about a little bit, some of the early days of NASCAR. This is a partnership that Jim remembers that he and his dad had with the Hawkins family back in the late 1940s, as early as 1949, all the way up to the Cup Series racing in the 1950s through the 1970s. And we're still running there with NASCAR Weekly and modified races. So it's an important relationship. It's an important partnership. We actually had someone with the last name of Hawkins there when we signed the papers on Wednesday, which was so special. But getting back to my point, Jim told us, and as soon as we start talking about this, is do not mess up this racetrack, whatever you do. And that is our goal and our focus is, we want to keep what the DNA of Bowman Gray is, because that makes it so unique. It makes it so special. And we're going to keep Greg Garrison and some of the family members involved for the next couple of years. They're going to be with us for probably every race this year. They'll be out there this year working with Austin and the team. So, excited to take about a lot of those learnings and experiences that they have, because they know every nook and cranny of that place. They know what makes it work. They have a lot of relationships that are invaluable, and we've got to keep and protect that. So that is our focus on Bowman Gray. Obviously, we got to get our feet underneath of us, and Austin's going to be a good person, but we're excited to get racing. April 20th can't come soon enough.
Local racing. Is it true? I was listening to Chocolate Myers on the what is it, NASCAR Channel 90 on Sirius XM. He said that and this is where I'm only 60. I need to be about 80 to remember this, I think. But did NASCAR run 6 points races a year there back in the day?
I'd have to go back and double check. It was several. I don't know if it was exactly 6, but it was several.
Yeah.
I want to say they started in 1956. We went through, I believe, 71 there with the Cup Series.
Wow. 71 points races.
Or sorry, 1971, I should say.
Okay.
I don't know exactly how many points races we had, but we had the Cup Series there for a number of years. And then we actually had the Convertible Series there. I want to say it started in 1957. And that was there for several years. Convertible Series was huge back in the day too. So, and then if you rewind the clock another decade, the first year of NASCAR racing, and people forget this, it wasn't predominantly stock cars. It was modifieds. Our first couple of years was really modified racing. And, for the better part of that first decade at Bowman Gray, it was predominantly modifieds. It was modifieds before we actually brought the NASCAR Grand National Series in the late 1950s.
I remember.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. And we handed out our a trophy at New Smyrna Speedway last year for the modified race. It was pretty neat. So it was 75 years to the day we handed out the trophy at New Smyrna Speedway. Was 75 years before we handed out the very first trophy for a modified race on the beaches of Daytona. So it reminds you about how big modified racing is, from our roots and where we began. But if you go to Bowman Gray on any Saturday night, it's one of the biggest races of the night, and there's a reason for that.